Disclaimer: all the character incidents are fictional. Everything is imaginary in this episode and compared with your life is just based on imagination, not on reality. You woke up with your teeth chattering so hard you thought it might break. Your blanket had slipped half away to the floor during the short nap you had taken after the hiking. Beside you, Jungkook he sat up. His hair was a mess, and his hoodie was not doing much to hide the way he was shivering. Why so cold all of a sudden? I don't know. But if this is your idea of a honeymoon test, you failed. You give him a death glare and snatched your blanket from the floor. As if I had ever wanted to a honeymoon with you. I would rather sleep outside with a snowman. Snowman would still treat you better than I do. You throw a pillow at him, but he lazily caught it and hugged it like he owned the place. Give it back. Nah, it's warm now. You groan, getting up to check the window. Your eyes widen. Thick snow was peeling up outside like someone has dumped an entire bakery worth of icing sugar over the town. The wind howled so loudly. Look at this. It was sunny when we came in. Yeah, and now don't say it also my mistake. You ignored him and stopping to a small kettle on the table to make tea, and before you could, there was a knock at the door. The hotel owner peeked in. There have been a sudden snowstorm. The city gone into a lockdown. Roads are closed, so you can't leave. What? But for how long? At least for a week. Don't worry, I have already extended your booking. Jungkook frozen, you frozen. Then you turn to each other instantly. A week here with him? Don't act like I'm the one who made it snow. Honor chuckled nervously. Well, at least you got a company. Cozy winter vibes. Right? No! As soon the door closed, you glare at him. Just so we are clear, I'm not cooking for you. Perfect. I'm also not sharing my snacks. You have snacks? Not anymore. He ran to his bag, but he was faster, holding it above his head like a basketball. Jungkook, I swear, carefully. You slip and hit your head. Then I have to carry you, and that's not on my to-do list. Before you could insult him back, the heater made a horrible clunk clunk sound and died. The room silently felt colder. You both turned to stare at it. I think it's broken. Great. Now let's freeze to death. Romantic, is not it? You rolled your eyes, rubbing your blanket over yourself like he stood there, pretending not to be jealous from your warmth blanket. You had came here after hours of hiking just to rest a bit before heading home. Your families thought that trip might have been bonding. Yes, bonding with a person who was not in your enemy, but also your future partner, thanks to an arrangement. You had planned for 2 hours in this hotel room, but now a whole 1 week. Same bed, same blanket, same person you hate until your last breath. Hours later, the room had gone from uncomfortably cold to I can see my breath level freezing. The heater still hadn't came back to his life. An extra Blankets the hotel promised to send nowhere in the sight. You were sitting on the bed hugging your knees while Jungkook sat on the chair crossing from you scrolling through his phone. We are going to have to share the bed. Why? Fine, freeze to the death in that chair. He finally looked up, raising an eyebrow. And you think I'm letting you have the whole bed for yourself? You stood up, dragging your blanket to the corner of your bed. Okay, we'll draw a line in the middle, cross it, and you'll die. And I'll make sure to roll over just to annoy you. When you finally lay down, you pulled the blanket so tightly around you, it was a miracle you could breathe. There was the only sound of wind outside. You refused to ask for the more blanket space. You refused to admit you were cold, and you refused. All of a sudden, the warmth brushed over your shoulder. You blink your eyes and see the Jungkook leaning over, pulling a part of blanket over you. What are you doing? You were shivering so hard. I thought that was going to break. You stared at him, about to say something, but the warmth spreading through the blanket, and maybe for him, maybe your brain quiet down. He lay down, turning his head to you. Go back to sleep. You'll need energy to keep arguing with me tomorrow. You rolled your eyes in the dark, and a tiny smile tugged on your lips as you let him hug you. Next morning, you woke up in a smell of instant coffee, opening your eyes and found Jungkook standing near the little table, sipping from the only mug of the hotel had given you. That's my cup. That's our cup now. Congratulations on the upgrade. You drag yourself out of the bed, wrapping your blanket like a burrito, and headed towards the kettle. Move, I'm making tea. There is only enough hot water for one more cup. Guess who wake up first? You glared and reached for the kettle anyway, but he leaned against the counter. You are so annoying, and yet you are still here. You rolled your eyes and decided to ignore him, but as you took step back, a strange wave of dizziness hit you. Your worry blurred for a second, and before you could grab the counter, your knees buckled, and the blanket slipped from your shoulder. Wyan, without another word, he scooped you into a bridal style, something you haven't complained about. If your head was not spinning, he carried you on the bed, he dropped the blanket over you and tucked them around your side. When you opened your eyes again after a few minutes later, you were not on the cold floor anymore. You were laying on the bed, bundled under both your blanket, and Jungkook stood crossing the room. A man seated by the heater, tools clicking as he worked. Suddenly his eyes caught yours, and he found your open eyes. Are you okay? You blinked your eyes at him, still feeling like a little daisy. You never imagined he would be like this, not that Jungkook who argued over blankets and insulted your tea making skill. The man at the heater stood up. There we go. Should start warming up in few minutes. Jungkook nodded without looking away from you. He walked to the electrician to the door and speaking in a quiet tone. You couldn't hear. Then he shut the door, immediately crossing the room, pulling the thick curtains, closed the window. It will get warmer now. Just stay under the blanket. Don't get up until you stop shivering. You didn't know what to say. He didn't wait for a thank you and didn't even smirk like usual. Few minutes later, Jungkook was standing in the front of the counter, frowning at the packet of instant soup like he had a personal offend him. Do you even know what are you doing? I'm making you something hot. Don't ruin the moment. You watch him pouring water into the mug and stir it. Then he realized it was too much water. He muttered something under his breath and poured half of the water out and splashing some onto the sleeves. You look like you are auditioned for a cooking disaster show. And you look like someone who should be grateful she didn't crack her head open on the floor. He finally carried the steam mug over and holding it out to you carefully. It's hot. You took it, the warmth instantly spreading through your cold fingers. Thanks, I guess. Don't read it into it. Just drink it before you pass out again. But he didn't move away. He stood there, arms crossing, pretending to watch the show outside yet, and you could tell that he was really watching you from the corner of his eyes. When you finished, he silently took the mug back and then tossed you a pack of biscuits. Eat, or I'll feed you myself. You wouldn't dare to. Really? Ah, fine. He laughed. Few days passed, and now you were actually bored by staying right here. Now, Jungkook was laying on the bed, a blanket over his legs, and eyes glued on the movie playing on the small TV. You were sitting near the window, legs tucked under you, a hot chocolate between your palms, and the snow outside looking like it had pulled straight from the postcard. I wanted to go out. Jungkook didn't even glance at you. Shut up. You just got healthy yesterday, and I'm not risking my life to drag you back in when you collapse again. You pouted, leaning your forehead against the glass. But this looks so magical. Just a little bit. 5 minutes? No. You turned to him and please, I wear three jackets. Four. I'll wrap my head in a blanket like a snow burrito. He finally looked at you. No. You dragged yourself off the chair towards him while holding a cup like a piece of offering. I'll share my hot chocolate with you. I don't like hot chocolate. Liar. Everyone likes hot chocolate. You sat under the bed beside him, leaning closer. I let you pick the movie tonight, even if it's boring. You hate my movies choices. Exactly. That's how much I wanted to go. You are so weird. Is that a yes? It is. Now put a scarf or I'll lock the door. You lit up instantly, bouncing up to grab the coat. The snow under your boots crunching with every step you both step out. You crunched down and scooping up quickly, packing it into a snowball. Don't think you are winning today. Please, you gasped and launched your snowball at him. It hit his jacket, and he looked at you like you had committed a crime. You are dead now. You turned to run, but he was fast. Within a second, he tackled you into a pile of soft snow. Both of you laughed and tried to shake it out of your ears. Okay, okay, you win. I told you, you can't win against me. You both decided to go back to your room, so you started walking back. Your cheeks were flushed from the cold, and you were still catching your breath when men passed by. One of them, his eyes scanning you, and he leaned towards his friend. Wow, what a figure! It was quiet, but not quiet enough. Jungkook's jaw clenched instantly. He stopped walking and turned outward, grabbing that man's collar. Before you could even say his name, his fist connected with the man's face hard. The stranger stumbled back into the snow. Jungkook, what are you doing? You grabbed his wrist and pulled him inside. You slammed the door shut. Are you insane? You could have killed him. What if they call the police? What if they... Your eyes dropped on his hands. His knuckles were raw and... You idiot. You stormed to your bag, grabbing the first aid kit, and then came back. He sat down, letting you take his hand without a word, picking fights like some street dogs. Do you even think before you act? He shouldn't have looked at you like that. That's not an excuse. For me, it is. You quickly wrapped a bandage while avoiding his gaze, and while wrapping the last layer of the bandage around his knuckle, you whisper, "Don't you dare to talk to me now." Your voice came out as sharp, then you felt inside. Jungkook only let out a sigh, leaning back against the pillow. His gaze were fixed on you. Not even a thank you. For what? For acting like a caveman in the middle of the snowstorm? He didn't reply. You showed the first aid kit back into your bag and stood for a moment and then lay down on the bed with your back to him. The room fell into a heavy silence for a few minutes. Later, the blanket shifted warm and slid around your waist. Jungkook, what are you doing? No talking, I'm just staying here. You could feel his breath against the back of your neck, warm and steady. It made the room feel smaller, like there was only two of you and nothing else existed. For a moment longer, neither of you spoke, and then his voice came low, almost in your ear. I can't just stand there while some guy said those kinds of words for you. You gave a tiny scoff while turning around. You could have ignored it. No, I couldn't. You're my going to be wife. Your whole body frozen. What? What? Don't you know? You will be my wife. You turn your head slightly, just enough to see his face from the corner of your eyes. Your heart turned faster, and you hated the fact that he could probably feel it through your back. You're unbelievable. He smiled and pecked on your forehead. You rolled your eyes. Come on, now talk to me. You chuckled as he hovering over you. Next morning, the sound of your phone buzzing dragging you out of your sleep. You groaned, reaching for it, but your arm felt heavy. You blinked your eyes, snowlight spilled through the curtain, and your head was on something solid. You frozen. Jungkook was shirtless, your legs tangled with his under the blanket. Your phone buzzed again, snapping you out of it. You carefully grabbed it, trying not to wake him up. Ryan, are you alright? The lockdown over? Snow finally stopped. I was worried. I'm fine, Dad. You spoke and you hung up the call. But your mind was not fine at all because the last night flash coming back. Heat, his lips, kissing and kissing again. Your heart jumped as Jungkook stared at you. His sleepy voice was low. Morning. Why are you staring at me like that? You stole my first kiss. That woke him up completely. He smirked, pushing himself up on the one of his elbow. Stole? Like you were not kissing me back? I was not thinking. It was the snowstorm, the mood. Snowstorm, huh? You were in your senses, Ryan. Every single kiss. Your cheeks burned. You grabbed the pillow and hit his shoulder. Shut up. Just forget it. Everything happened. No, I'm not. I'm keeping that in my memory forever unless you want it. Give me back my stole case right now in your dreams. Last night was better than any dream. You turned away. Your heart was pounding as he laughed.